Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, everyone. Come on in. Come on in. Good morning. Good morning, good morning. Okay, let me see here. I got the YouTube is up. So sorry. Listen, we was having some technical difficulties. Okay, good. Oh, I see YouTube. Okay, let me see Facebook. All right, y'all, we're going to get into it. Good morning, Faith. Thank you for joining us on YouTube. Good morning. Good morning. Thank you. Hey, Facebook. I see some people coming in on Facebook. Um, was trying to get the sound together earlier. There was a little bit, but you know what? We here. I don't have no voice between chair competition and church. My voice is gone. But good morning. I just really wanted to begin our 21-day distraction detox this morning. And to everybody who has, written in the comments, who have sent emails, who have been like, listen, I need this. I need this. Listen, me too. So I'm glad we are here together. I'm glad we have decided to go on this journey of this 21-day distraction detox. I know most times we're fasting, we're doing this and that, but I really thought it was important. If we were going to say that 2026 was the year of divine focus, in order for us to stay focused, then we got to understand like what gets in the way of us being focused. And nine times out of 10, it is distractions, things that's coming to steal your attention, things that are coming to, just disrupt what you got going on, is to disrupt your focus, is to take your eyes off the prize. And I said, you know what, God, in order for us to be focused, Lord, you got to give us a framework, okay? Not just a framework, but God, what are the things that are standing in the way of me being divinely focused for 2026? So he's given me this like 21-day of distraction detox, and I really wanted to share this with this community. So thank you guys for coming on this journey with me. Listen, I know it ain't easy to be up 6 o'clock in the morning on live, but I'm not going to be before you long. I just want to give us some daily, just I guess like daily, not just motivation or empowerment, but just some daily strategies to really help keep us focused. So week one, this is a 3 week thing that we're going to be walking through. So week one is going to be about identifying the distractions, right? Because my thing is, if you can't locate or name or identify the things that are distracting you, then you won't be able to overcome that distraction. So I think it's really important for us to understand, not just to identify the distraction, that's week one, but day one, we're going to focus on silencing the noise. Sometimes there's just some things in your life that's just too loud. You know what I mean? Like sometimes there are just some things that are too loud and they are grabbing at your attention, therefore distracting you from what God really wants you to be focused on in that season. Good morning. Good morning. I see Danielle. Good morning, Shamira. Good morning, Faith, over here on YouTube, holding it down. I really appreciate y'all logging on this morning. All right, so here we are. Like I said, I'm not going to try to hold you long. I know it's a Monday morning. First, for some here in the Carolinas, this is the first week our children are going back to school. And that's a distraction all in itself. But okay, if we're talking about week one, identifying distractions, our day one is silencing the noise, right? So, if you're watching live, just know, like, type good morning, let some people know we are live. But I really want us to get into this. So, I know if you're here, listen, you have made a decision to show up. This is your decision to show up, and I really appreciate that. You said, like, listen, I'm telling myself something. I'm not going to be distracted this year. Come on, I'm not going to be distracted this year. I know you're tired. Some of us feel scattered. Some of us are a little bit overwhelmed. Some of us are like, listen, God, I know you're speaking, but I'm struggling to hear you clearly right now. Come on, I know you're speaking, but I'm struggling to hear you clearly. So this is why day one is about silencing the noise. Good morning, Deja. is about silencing the noise, okay? Because showing up is proof already that you're focused. The fact that you even showed up is proof enough that you are focused. All right, so welcome to day one of the 21-day distraction detox. All that. So this is not, I didn't want this to just be like a challenge of perfection or just a typical fast. I really wanted us to really detox from the distractions that we're telling ourselves every day. So it's not just about, because I know the main thing people say, okay, well, I gotta come off social media, I gotta stop being on my phone, I gotta turn the TV off. And honestly, some of us may have to do those things. I'm not negating those things. Some of us may have to, turn the phone off, delete the apps. Come on, delete the phone numbers. We may have to, whatever the case may be, there's some things in your life that you may have to do. But I just want this, I want us to go deeper than that. It's not just about identifying those, the major things, the cliche things of like the turning off the phones, because distraction is rarely loud at first, right? When things begin to distract you, you don't typically know they're distracting you to after you've been distracted. So, in order for us to identify our distractions, we got to understand the things that start off as quiet, the things that start off as familiar, and the things that start off as comfortable in our lives. Come on, those comfortable things. Because listen, distraction doesn't always pull you away from God. Sometimes it just keeps you busy enough to not notice that you've drifted. You know what I mean? Sometimes we're like, I was at point A, but when I looked up, I feel like I was all the way at point D. You have been slowly but surely drifting because of the noise, because of everything that's going on around you, because of the distractions. I was reading Psalm 40, 46 and 10, and it said, "Be still and know that I am God." And I don't know why that really stuck out to me when I was thinking about what it means to be distracted. The verse says, "Be still and know that I am God." Sometimes some of us are doing way too much. That verse, it talks about being still. It doesn't first talk about knowing. It talks about being still, because my thing is, you cannot know clearly what you're refused to quiet if you're not still long enough. You cannot know clearly what you are supposed to quiet, what you can quiet if you're not still long enough. So let's talk about the noise. Noise isn't just sound. Noise is anything that competes for your intention. So that could be relationships, that could be constant notifications on your phone, that could be endless responsibilities, always saying like, I'll do this, I'll do that, I'll be this, I'll do that. That's people expectations. Come on, your own thoughts running around in your head that go unchecked. That can be anything. Some of us are not distracted. It's not our phones that are distracting us. It's not sometimes always other people. Sometimes we can be distracted by unresolved emotions, right? People pleasing. We can be distracted by trying to do more to make, because that makes us feel like people will care more. You can't carry your way into somebody's life. I'm sorry. I tried. I'll be the one to tell you. You can't carry your way into having people treat you differently. So it's not always busyness that has us distracted. Sometimes it's emotional distractions and people pleasing and things like that. Because we got to understand that we got to confront those things. We got to confront the things that may be uncomfortable, because what we don't confront, we'll continue to compete with. So it's important. And some of us, we don't want to be honest with where we are and what we're dealing with. And we got to understand that focus is not lost over one interaction. Focus is not lost off of one interaction. And some of us don't want to say it out loud, but we don't lose focus overnight. We lose it. It leaks out of us slowly, over time, the things that we've been dealing with. So I just want you to think about that. And I want you to think about, what is something in your life right now that's real loud? I don't care what it is. Type that in the comments. What is one thing in your life right now that is real loud? and you don't even realize it, but it has become a distraction over time. It has been constantly just in the background. It's something that you are now giving your attention to, you are focusing on, you are spending time taking away from the purpose and plan that God has for you, the assignments, the businesses, the your devotional time. It's that one thing that's constantly in the back of your head that you've been constantly thinking about, but you're like, you know what is this one thing, what one thing that's loud around? Come on, Faith. Faith said, I'm overwhelmed. Listen, that is what distractions do. Distractions come to overwhelm us. Yes, they will come to overwhelm us. But we got to understand, we got to learn how to silence the noise. And don't judge it. Don't judge what comes up. Don't judge what come up. Just what is that one thing? Just one word. And you know what? You got to be honest with yourself. You got to be honest with yourself. So our introduction into this is understanding that you're going to have to go beyond the norm of what's comfortable. And I want us to get to a place where being uncomfortable is not a deal breaker, right? And I'm not talking about being in situations that kind of like putting you in harm's way. I'm talking about when you truly sit with yourself and you are meant and you sitting in front of that mirror and you begin to have to dig and pull out the things that are keeping you stagnant, that are keeping you in the same space, that are keeping you in relationships. I want us to get to a point where we can sit in silence for 10 minutes, no phones, no multitasking, no music, just us and God in silence. Because silence reveals what noise hides. When everything is going on, when you're so busy, when you are constantly moving, you got to go here and there. You're responsible for getting the kids together, for working, for ministry, for building, for just everything. And listen, yeah, and when life just starts lifing and life gets loud and responsibility get loud, and you begin to feel burnout, you got to think about, okay, what is causing me to burn out? What is causing me to be overwhelmed? What is causing me to look at life and just be done? So we got to get to the place where we can just sit with God for even if it's 10 minutes a day, silence the noise, turn off the music, turn off the phone. And people say, we know why silence? Because I'm telling you, silence reveals what noise hides. When everything is quiet, you can begin to hear. When you slow down, thoughts begin to surface. Come on. When you slow down, them thoughts they begin to surface. And when you can quiet the distractions, your emotions rise, and you begin to be okay. You begin to put a name to what you're going through, a name to what you are feeling. You remove stimulation, and then truth will appear. Why do you think people are like, I'm overstimulated, and then you begin to act out in a way that you typically wouldn't act out because you are in a space now where you cannot truly locate what's going on around you. So when you remove stimulation, truth appears. When you quiet the distractions, your emotions have a chance to rise and you begin to think coherently. So that's why day one is about silencing the noise. And get this, God often speaks loudest to us when everything else is quiet. Sometimes people say, I don't hear God, I don't hear. It's because it's too much noise. He has a still voice. He's come. Sometimes it's a whisper. Sometimes it takes for us to just quiet everything else so that we can hear his voice. He often speaks loudest to us when everything else is quiet, when he has our full attention, when we are focused. Come on. When we are focused. So I want you to begin to ask yourself as we go into, I know today is just the introduction of our distraction detox, but the next 20 days, because we're doing this for 21 days, for the next 20 days, I want us to get to a place where, listen, where when we sit and we ask ourselves, what are the things that we keep replaying in our mind? What are the things we keep replaying in our mind? What do you typically avoid sitting with? What are those thoughts? What are those relationships? What are those ideas? What are those things that you sometimes you avoid sitting with? And then this is a big one. I want you to think about, what do you reach for when you feel uncomfortable? Come on. What do you reach for? Come on, Faith. Listen, worrying over your children is a real one, and that could be noise. I love how you said that. Yes. All right, I'm trying to keep up with the comments on YouTube and on Facebook, but I want you to think about that. I want you to think about, what do you typically reach for when life gets loud, when you get uncomfortable? Come on, because that's real. And we got to begin declaring things like, you got to understand, like you got to make space for God's voice. That way, the things that are loud can begin to subside when we begin to make way for the voice of God, when we quiet the distractions. So before we can get into this full detox, I really thought that it was important for us to unpack what is loud right now in our lives. Because if it's too loud, then we won't be able to focus on detoxing from the things that we have habitually done over the course of our life to numb, come on, to numb what we are going through. What we don't realize is we need a detox, because detoxing help us to get rid of the things that are laying so dormant in our lives that we've forgotten about. Come on, Danielle. That is a powerful testimony. Sometimes we run back to the things that were comfortable, the things that will numb. Come on, I just said this. The things that will numb what we're going through. And what we don't realize is the things that are numbing us is louder than sitting with what we're going through and trying to silence the noise. That is so good. And that's honestly, this is why I call this a distraction detox. And because when we typically think about detox, it puts us in the mindset of removing the toxins. Come on, isolation. Let me tell you, isolation is the enemy's playground. And we don't spend enough time really talking about that, because I don't mind. Let me tell you, the enemy, that is when the enemy will have you. And I'm not saying like to you specifically, Shamara, but that's so good, because I remember times where my thoughts became the enemy's playground because I thought isolation was protecting me, and it wasn't. When you are the best place you can be around a person who loves you, and hear me when I say this, not always people who love you don't always agree with you. And I think I don't know where we've gotten to a place where, because people challenge us or people, speak to us contrary to what we want to hear in the moment, we retreat and we feel like we can't trust them. But that devil is a lot. The people who love you, they want to see you better. And sometimes better means letting go of the bitterness and walking into who you are becoming. Listen, I said I wasn't going to hit you with too much on the first day. This was literally just an introduction to let you know what this detox would be about for the next 20 days. But the first step is we got to silence the noise. And the noise is going to be anything that tries to tell you you can't do it. The noise is anything that tries to tell you, getting on live, being a part of this holistic woman community, that ain't important. The noise is anything that is pulling you away from the purpose and the plan that God has for you in this season of your life. If this is your season to focus, I implore you to strap on your seatbelt and get ready for a good ride for the next 20 days. For the next 20 days, I want us to lock in. I tell the women who I work with, even one on one, when I'm mentoring or even in this group, I tell them that you can't make excuses. You got to make adjustments. Excuses are noise. You can't saying, "Oh, I can't do that," or "I don't feel like doing that." That is a distraction. That is a distraction because anything that confronts your comfortability is going to make you better. Come on. Anything that confronts your comfortability will make you better because being comfortable will keep you in the same place time after time, the same relationships, the same jobs, the same friends. But I really believe in 2026, God is trying to stretch us. Come on. He's trying to get us out of hiding. He's trying to remove us from them same circles. He's trying to elevate not just our lives, but our thinking. He's trying to take us to another level. But we got to start with being still. Come on, come on. What did our scripture say? Be still and know. In order for us to know, we got to be still. We got to get into our word. We got to get around different circles. Come on, lace up your bootstraps, put on your bed. It's time to ride. So for real, I really just want us to. I know it's 6:30, so my plan is to, now that I kind of got all the kinks out the way, every day for the next 20 days until March 1st, we will be on Facebook and YouTube. What's up, YouTube? First of all, I love YouTube because the YouTube be going. I can see the YouTube comments right here on my live. I gotta look on my phone to see if Facebook comments. But we'll be live on YouTube and Facebook for the next 20 days, unpacking what it means, not just to be divinely focused, but going through this spiritual, mental, and physical detox of eliminating distractions. And know this, anytime you are detoxing from anything, it's going to get uncomfortable before it gets better. So I may say some things that may challenge you. I may say some things that may make you uncomfortable. I'm not doing it on purpose, but I want us to be able to sharpen one another. Because my thing is, I want you not just to live your best life. That's on the surface. God has already called for us to do that, to live life and live it more abundantly. But I want us to live a life that will catapult us into the next space and place that God has for us. And we can't do that by being comfortable and by staying the same. You're going to have to walk through a journey of eliminating the toxin, the spiritual toxins, the emotional, the relational toxins that are in our life. And we got to go to the next level. So we're going to have to detox some toxins in our lives. And we're going to walk through that together. Because by the end of this, I want us to begin to live the life of divine focus that God has called us to live. This is the year where not only will our eyes see it, our hands will touch it in our lives, and everybody connected to us will benefit from what God has for us in this season. This is our season to thrive. Okay, don't forget that. So we're going to walk through what it means to detox from distractions. No more making excuses. We're making adjustments. Stop making excuses for why you can't show up for yourself. Stop making excuses for why you are not spending time with loving yourself, pouring into you. It's not selfish. Stop making an excuse of why you can't better yourself, why you can't become, why you cannot do. If you got to tell them kids, go ahead, kids. If you got to tell that husband, that spouse, if you got to tell that job, if you got to tell those friends, if you got to tell whatever it is that is getting in the way of you bettering yourself and walking into the divine purpose that God has for you, you got to learn to say, you know what? I'm no longer making an excuse for who I am. I'm not making this for putting me first. I am no longer making excuses. I'm going to have to make some adjustments, but no longer is excuses going to rule who I am. So make space for God's voice, quiet the noise, choose focus over frenzy, and this is going to be our season to become clear. Okay, y'all? Listen, I love y'all. Um, Other things I want to add to this detox. Like I said, I don't want it to be like a traditional like diet fast, anything like that. Even though those things are needed. But as we are walking out the next 21 days, as we're going through this detox, daily homework is going to be important. And when I say daily homework, I mean spending time in your devotional, spending time praying, spending time connecting with other like minded women, getting out there and making space for just you, for self care. So make sure you are reading your Bible. Make sure you are connecting, even in this community. I want us to get more active on our Facebook community. You never know who is in the virtual room. And I want us to just connect. I'm going to give us space to connect even in person. For those who don't know, we do our monthly meetups. We have our Valentine's Day event coming up. I'm telling you, if you are in the Greensboro Triad area, please, I'm telling you, get your ticket to Valentine's Day. This is a perfect time for us to unpack what sisterhood and self-love is. I'll have the graphic and everything for that tomorrow. Like I said, today was just the introduction. I had to get back into the swing of things of being up at 5 in the morning because I like to pray and get our lesson for today together. So listen, life was life for me too, y'all. I'm not exempt. So getting up at 5 a.m., I got to get back used to that. So tomorrow, like I said, we'll have everything laid out for us, the lesson that we'll be going through. So yeah, I'm telling you, this next 20 days, I really believe it's going to be powerful. It's going to be impactful, and it's really going to bless you. All right, so it's 6:35. I want us to be able to get our day started, get our morning started. Thank you for tagging people. Good morning. I didn't see some of you say good morning. Good, Shamira. Thank you for being here. You all for always supporting, and being a part of what we're doing with Holistic Women. I love you. Danielle, yes, listen, we about to be in for a ride. Faith, what's up? Yes, I know Faith. Faith, listen, you got to make it to Holistic Women's Weekend this year. I know you're not in North Carolina, but that's the one to travel for. So make sure you come. And like I said, tomorrow morning we are back here 6 a.m. for day 2 of our distraction detox. Y'all, it's about to be on and popping. It's about to be on and popping. So make sure. Good morning, Lex. Thank y'all for hopping on now. Like I said, we are back tomorrow morning. Set your alarms 6 a.m. for day 2 of our distraction detox, where we'll walk through. We'll go beyond just silence and the noise. We're going to walk into the next season of what God has for us. I want y'all to be safe. I love y'all. Have a great day and make sure y'all take care of each other. Get in the comments, get in the Facebook group, and let's connect. Have a great day, y'all. Take care, okay?